Hello and happy Friday. I'm Anson, and we are nearing the end of our fall series, It's How You Play the Game, where we're thinking about how God builds winning traditions through losing seasons. So I wonder how you relate to this. If you're going through a season of loss, a challenging, tough season, maybe there's some pain and suffering in that. There are places that we want to look for instruction or help or comfort or even some correction. And then there are some places that we don't want to receive it from. So for me, I got 5 kids, 3 of them are adults now, seen a lot in terms of my parenting journey, Dina and I have. And so if you're a parent, you know parenting is not always easy. It's got its challenges and you look for help as you're going along. But if I come across an article or a book or something that's offering some advice or counsel about parenting, I always look at who the author is and how many kids they have and how old their kids are. So if I come across a book and this author's got 4, 5, 6 kids and they're, teenager or older, I go, okay, this author has lived it. They can tell me something about parenting. But if I read something and I come to find out, the author, has 1 kid and he's 2 years old, I'm not going to take that advice with nearly as much weight as somebody who has walked in my shoes, who has lived it, who has gained some wisdom of experience. As we come through the book of Job, we've seen how his peers have come at him with their take on Job's suffering. And it hadn't been all that helpful. Well, as we go through the story, we come to a really interesting section where this younger man speaks into Job's life, probably less than half his age, certainly not having lived the experience that Job has lived, but he's speaking in a way that he's going to tell Job some things. Now, this character is interesting, and scholars have debated how to understand this character throughout history. Is he a prophet of God, bringing the truth of God, or is he just a young punk that is speaking out of place, above his station in the life of Job? And so there's a debate about how to read him. The challenge is, if you do think he's a young punk, most of what he says is actually true. Now, how he says it, hard to swallow. But a lot of what he says, God comes along and says the same things, or we find in other places of the Bible as well. Which brings us to the challenge that Job apparently embraced in his suffering, and that is he had the wisdom and humility to listen to truth even when it came through a mouthpiece that was hard to receive it from. And that's how we experience things as well. I mean, sometimes you might be saying the right thing, but who it's coming from and how it's being said makes it really hard for us to internalize and take in something that might actually be really helpful. So this week, this Sunday, we're going to look at this character, Elihu, look a little deeper into who he is and how to read what this section of the book has for us. But we're going to wrestle with this question of when we're in seasons of loss. Sometimes the things that are the hardest to hear might be the things that can be the best for us. If we can get over our own pride, if we can have the humility and wisdom to receive it like it seems Job did. So I got 7 things for you, 7 things from this section of Job that are actually super practical things we probably don't want to hear, but maybe we need to hear. And maybe when we're not yet if we're not in a season of deep suffering right now, is the best time to actually think about these things before we're in harder seasons of life. So helpful stuff as we continue to learn how to play the game in losing seasons. Hope you'll join us this weekend in person or online. But until then, have a great weekend, and I hope to see you soon.